This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
You know what?
Yeah, well done this week, Tim.
I thought there was more.
You said all the words.
And that I forgot what the rest of it was. For the number of times I had to say that, I've been contractually obligated to say that, I screw it up an awful lot.
Yeah, well, you're not that smart.
Not only am I not that smart.
Oh, I'm Tim.
Yeah.
Did I say that before?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
People are like, geez, we heard you. We got it the first time.
They might not have been paying attention the first time, and then what I said was so compelling, and they were just like, I should have caught this fella's name.
Do it. I wish I had caught this.
I wish I had written down his name the first time he said it.
You think anybody, like, first time they listened to this show, they were like, Tom and Tim. Okay, continue.
I know you're not in meetings often, Tom, but sometimes I find myself in meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And when you introduce yourself to people,
yeah,
sometimes people write down your name.
Oh, they do? That's a new... They stopped doing that, or they started doing that since I got out of the meeting game.
And I always think, yeah, I should do that. Mm-hmm. And then I just go on and forget everybody's name.
Yeah, but do they, like, put it as, like, fat and bald next to, like, somebody's name?
Not fat and
not
bald.
you. I'm saying, like, when they're, you know, like, okay, hold on. All right, John, fat and bald.
I mean,
Martin, dour expression, bad body odor.
Was there any... First of all, if you're in a room with a bunch of people, how do you know who's the stinker? I was on a crowded train yesterday. BO to the point where, like, I was gagging. I had waited like 15 minutes for this train at rush hour, and I was considering getting off at a stop like miles from my home and waiting for another train. But I couldn't pinpoint the guy to give the stink eye to. I couldn't pinpoint the stinker to focus my stinker on my stink eye.
What? Your butt?
No.
Well, when you say my stinker.
Yeah, I know. I realized that as I was saying it.
Well, you know what they say, Tim, if you can't...
Never point your butt at somebody in anger.
No, think about it.
Yeah,
think twice. Well, you know what they say, if you're in a crowded subway and you can't figure out who stinks, it's you.
I would like to think that, but I would have thought that...
I would like to think that.
Well, it would
I wish.
It would have been nice to know, like, oh, at least I know where it's coming from.
I've got some new deodorant I'd like your opinion on. Not smelling opinion on, just idea opinion.
Okay, let's hear it.
Baking soda.
Yeah.
I like baking soda a lot, I think. And hey, it's not just for baking anymore. You can drink it like a regular soda.
No, you can't.
What?
You have to put it in water first.
Oh, yeah. And then you can drink it.
It's for absorbing odors.
Yeah.
It works in your refrigerator. It should work in your underarms as well.
Works in the refrigerator. I have like a pet one for, you know, pet smells.
You know what? You're being sold a bill of goods there, Tom.
What?
Do they charge more for the pet baking soda?
I'm sure they do, but look, Tim...
It's baking soda, Tom.
It's got a picture of a dog and a kitty cat on the front.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I'll pay a premium just for the cute pics.
Yeah. Well, you know, once I'm done with this, I'll...
That's why they call me Timmy Cute Pics, because I'm always in the market for cute pics of dogs and cats.
Yeah.
Not cats so much, actually.
So, like, at a meeting, everybody else is writing down names.
I'm like, hey, Timmy Cute Pics over here.
Yeah, you got
like,
any cute pics? Hey, show me your phone. You got any cute pics?
Back to that meeting thing, Tom. When you meet somebody new, do you just catalog their least attractive qualities? Is that the only thing that you see in people?
I mean...
What about, like, brown hair or beard?
Yeah,
or
but like a lot of people have brown hair and
red
beards.
shirt. Yeah, but all you got to do is...
Red shirt? Well, I got to rely on this guy having a red shirt?
You're not bringing your notes with you for the rest of your life. You're getting through a meeting, for Christ's
You're making
sakes.
a mistake. I've had another administrative problem this week.
Okay.
You know what a CAPTCHA is?
Yeah, but why don't you explain to the audience?
So it's like the thing on the internet to prove you're not a robot. I think it even now says, like, I'm not a robot, then has a check mark.
Right.
The
Wait, hold on. How do
What?
those check mark ones work? Where you click the box that says "I'm not a robot."
Yeah. Well, robots can't lie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Say no more.
They can't
Say no more.
check the box. No, honestly, the way those work, it's like a combination of things where I think almost all of them nowadays are Google. Mm-hmm. So basically, Google's like, nah, we know who this guy is. We've been tracking him second by second for the last...
Ask us anything about this guy. We know it.
We've been tracking him second by second for the last 15 years. Trust us, it's a guy. It works with that along with like how you move the mouse. So basically, like if the mouse moved like too perfectly or something, it would be like, oh,
it's a problem for me because I'm very economical.
Yeah, well, you've always got the protractor out with your mouse. Like, well, let's figure out the most efficient angle.
Why am I going to waste my time
and energy
taking a circuitous route to the thing that I'm clicking on?
And that's me. I'm always like, woo,
yeah.
Just
you're like, hey man,
circling forever.
Hey man, the journey is the destination, right?
Well, but here's the problem. For some reason, the internet, and probably like Google in particular, thinks I'm a robot now.
Okay.
These CAPTCHA things,
they should see the way you live. No robot would live in such squalor. They'd like develop an efficient system to clean.
These, the CAPTCHAs. So if it doesn't buy, the idea that you're not a robot, it starts like throwing problems at you.
What kind of problems? My wife doesn't like me.
Google tells you?
I think my daughter's going to run away.
No, it'll show you like 9 pictures, and it's like, pick a storefront.
Oh, yeah.
Pick all the storefronts. And by the way, like, these pictures are going to be like grainy pictures in like a foreign language. You're not,
in a foreign land.
You're not going to have any idea whether this is what a store looks like or not.
Yeah. Sometimes they catch off guard because it's like, oh, pick the vehicle, and like the very corner of a car's tire is in the top right-hand corner of one of the boxes.
The bane of my existence.
And it's like sometimes you need to get these done quick because there are concert tickets at stake here.
Yeah.
Always buying concert tickets, Tom. Never going to concerts.
No, it's good. Maybe one day you'll change your mind, go to one of these concerts.
I just like collecting the tickets. Knowing what could have been is more exciting than actually.
So you're not getting them will call. You're having them mailed to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the night of the show comes, and I'm like, well, the possibilities here.
I got the hottest ticket in town in my hand. Anything could happen.
Exactly. And then usually I fall asleep on the couch watching Cheers reruns.
The bane of my existence is the street sign ones.
Yeah, why?
Because what you're talking about, where it's like, pick all the squares out of a street sign. And it's like, but like, how exact do you want me to be here? Do you want me to
I think they want you to be pretty exact, which is ironic because they're trying to prove that you're not a computer.
You think I'm some kind of maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm being too good at them.
Oh, because it always kicks you back?
Oh, there are some times where I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. It's refreshing. Like I pick all the pictures and it's like, all right, here's some more. Do it again. It's just making me
maybe it's the Last Starfighter sort of thing, and they're like, man, he is so good at like we're going
to street signs.
At some point we're gonna have to fight these robots, and we need somebody as good at the game as they are.
Right.
Because like, first of all, I don't believe for a second that robots aren't better than us at identifying pictures in boxes.
Yeah.
They know everything.
Yeah.
Robots. They download. Remember when Facebook started that thing and the robots started talking to each other in a different language that the Facebook engineers didn't understand? They had to like
yank the cord when that happens.
Yeah, like smash the AI machines with axes.
Yeah, throw it into them. All right, time. At this point, like Facebook and Google, like all the big like people researching AI, I hope they've always got like a nice cauldron of molten lava.
Exactly. I was going to say the exact same thing. Probably like the size of a football field.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything's on wheels. And they got to wheel it in there. Be like the end of Terminator 2.
Yeah, they can just lower an entire office building into lava. George, get out of there. Well, no, I'm still in here. Whoa! And they put a man in the lava.
Collateral damage.
Look, it's what keeps us safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these freaking these boxes, man, it's killing me lately.
Tom, I asked you before we started recording, do you have something to talk about at the top of the show?
Yeah, I do. It's something I meant to talk about last week.
Yeah, and you said, don't get your hopes up. And you were right.
Tim, this week we're talking about futuristic technology.
I'm excited. Tell me more.
Microwaves.
Microwave ovens?
Mostly microwave ovens. I'm speaking colloquially.
Microwaves are in the news right now.
Yeah, you were bringing that up because all of our enemies, the U.S.'s enemies, are shooting microwaves at us, apparently.
Well, when we're in their lands, I guess. Well, there was speculation that Americans in Cuba, what did they shot something at them to scramble their brains?
They got like real bad headaches, and like a few like embassy workers had to be like airlifted out. But then that has also happened in our embassies in China, I believe. And like they're not sure if it's like a sonar weapon or a microwave. They're not even sure if it's a weapon. They're not sure what the hell's going on. But that's like a speculation.
I mean, the official line is that they've ruled out microwave technology.
Oh, okay. So good. Microwaves are safe.
Yeah. So we're free to talk about them.
Do you have a microwave oven, Tim?
Tom, I'll tell you this much. Do the goddamn math. 90% of American households own a microwave oven.
I was trying to figure out if you were the 1 in 10 weirdo that doesn't.
Tom, I'll tell you one thing. I aspire to not own a microwave oven.
Okay.
I'd like to be the kind of guy. I lived in an apartment for a year without a microwave oven.
Oh, really?
And I did fine.
Yeah.
My roommate at the time really was against them.
Did you have a nice toaster oven?
No, I didn't do much cooking that year, though.
Didn't eat.
I remember one time I made, like, I don't know, grilled chicken or something. Or, I don't know, I made something, and I got oil all over everything, and my roommate, who I didn't know very well, I kind of knew her, but, like, not very well, she yelled at me, and I was just like, I'm just going to stay out of the kitchen for another year, and then I'll move somewhere else.
So, wait, did your roommate have a rule about, like, hey, pal, no microwave ovens?
Tom, it was after you and I were roommates.
Yeah, I was going to say, your roommate who wasn't me or your wife.
Right. Yeah, there was, I guess, just one at the,
we were in places with other roommates, but
you were very insistent on, like, the microwave that we had. You were like, this is mine. I'm taking it. I won't eat without this thing.
What?
So you took it. Yeah.
I threw that out and got a new one.
Oh, my God.
Very soon afterwards.
And then I moved in with a person who's my friend to this day. I haven't talked to her in probably 4 or 5 years, but I think we're still, like, friends. Nothing happened.
Right.
Like,
well, except for the oil all over the kitchen.
She yelled at me about the oil thing, but she was right. I got oil everywhere and then just went to work the next day. Anyway.
Wait, you just went to... Does that imply you should have called out sick?
No, I should have cleaned up.
Yeah. You could have done that after you ate. You didn't have to call out sick.
It was a late night chicken.
Oh, a late night
chicken situation.
How are you cooking this thing?
In a pan frying it.
But just too much oil?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing back then. These the crazy days of 2012.
You were like, all right, a cup of oil.
Yeah.
And 1 chicken breast.
Yeah. And I probably undercooked it too. I got very sick. And I was like, you know what? Cooking's not for me. So anyway, she didn't have a microwave. I wasn't going to press the issue. Who cares? There were a lot of convenient restaurants. I was very lazy. It was back in the day when I would just eat one all-purpose meal at like 7 p.m. every day.
Yeah, just one giant meal.
Yeah, exactly. And like I'd prefer that to be like a ton of stuff from the Chinese place than like making something myself. Right. I can't make that volume of food that I needed to sustain.
Right, it would take all night.
Exactly. So you know what? I
gotta cook 3 meals.
I didn't think
it
was weird. She's like, I don't like that stuff, and I was like, okay, fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. I think I might have gone into that kitchen was there for like 12 or 13 months.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
in the kitchen.
Maybe 6 times.
Oh, wow. So wait, you didn't even like keep anything in the refrigerator?
Not really.
What were you doing?
I don't really remember much about that year. I never unpacked most of my stuff.
You were like, this is temporary. Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, like most of my stuff was like when I moved out, I was
Still
like,
in a suitcase.
cool, I'll keep these same boxes that I moved in.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on.
Well, you were moving.
Friends of mine were getting married and starting families, and I was literally like sleeping on a mattress on the floor for a year, with like unpacked boxes around me.
Yeah, and afraid to even step foot into the kitchen.
Yeah, not afraid, just no interest in it.
Well, because you had no interest in being yelled at again.
No, yeah, a little bit.
You know, no, I'll just screw up again if I go in there.
She was very nice. We're friends to this day.
You keep saying that.
Anyway, do you have a microwave? I have one now, and I use it, I would say, frequently. Nah.
Yeah.
I use it to heat up tortillas mostly.
When you're making tacos.
Yeah, or burritos.
Yeah. I used my microwave recently to heat up tortillas too. It does a bang-up job doing that.
Yeah.
Makes them very pliable.
I would say, how long do you put it in for?
15 seconds.
Yeah, 15.
But I keep an eye on it.
Look, I think the honest answer, you only need about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a stack of them.
I'm usually doing like at least a few.
Yeah.
One at a time. Maybe 5 seconds is all you need.
Tom, I got a microwave.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a metal tray and a turntable in it.
What does the metal tray do?
You put things on it.
And things you don't want to turn.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now I've heard it all.
Yeah, exactly. Things have really come a long way since the 60s.
They have. We're going to get into some of the history of microwaves soon for all of you history buffs sitting there waiting.
When you think of a history buff, you really think about somebody who's like doing deep research into microwave technology.
Yeah.
This can be like hardcore history, but for microwaves.
But for
It's gonna be like 68 hours of us just being like
the microwave oven. I mostly use my microwave to cook leftovers.
nice.
I think that's like its ideal purpose, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Most leftovers would be well suited to be heated up in an oven or a toaster oven.
Yeah, but it takes time.
Look, everything good takes time.
It's true.
You gotta work on something. You gotta build things.
Let me tell you.
This is what's wrong with America today. Nobody wants to build anything. They just want to take shortcuts.
Tim, you were just recounting how you were afraid to go in the kitchen because you made a mess once.
Yeah. It wasn't that I made a mess. It was that I made a mess and then got yelled at.
I'm going to talk a little bit, if that's okay with you, Tim, about the history of the microwave, where it came from.
Can we talk something real quick?
Maybe.
Can we talk about how microwaves work?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
we'll get to
that's a
that
little
later.
part of this.
Okay, then go on.
So this guy, Percy Spencer, you know him.
Percy Spencer?
Yeah.
I don't know him, but that's a really cool name.
He was.
Percy's a great name. And you'd think it'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met a Percy.
Huh?
This guy.
I had nothing more to say about
This guy.
Percy Spencer. That's a name I'll never forget.
Well, you shouldn't, Tim. He basically invented the microwave. He was working for how do you say this? Raytheon?
Yeah.
Raytheon? Who's they were like a defense contractor back in the day, I think.
Oh, I know this story.
He was testing magnetrons. Magnetrons. Vacuum tubes that produced microwave radiation in 1945. And this dummy, he noticed, well, not a dummy, this genius, noticed that his chocolate bar in his pocket was melting.
Yeah.
Every time he stood in front of this machine that produced dangerous microwave energy.
Yeah, God knows what else this thing was doing to old Percy Spencer.
Man, that's like...
Percy Spencer, Never had any kids, did he? Percy Spencer's name did not live on.
Well, you know what? Actually, where is it in my notes? Magnets, or not magnets, microwaves.
Oh.
Well, yeah, Tim, you're not wrong. Magnetrons also produce non-ionizing radiation. It will not damage your DNA.
Right.
And well, but let's say it won't damage your RNA.
Mm.
And that's what would make you infertile, I assume.
RNA?
Yeah,
as
right?
opposed to
DNA. Because your RNA is what's in...
Look, it's not going to, mutate you.
Right.
But
it might make you warm.
I mean...
It might cook your insides.
Yeah. You can cook a person in a microwave because we're mostly water.
Yeah. We'll cook up real fast in a microwave.
Man, a man-sized microwave.
A microwave.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that keeps me up at night. Getting lured into one of those things.
Yeah, just wait for me in this telephone booth.
Yeah.
Why is the door so thick?
And I'd be skeptical if anybody asked me to wait for them in a telephone booth. Number one, a thing that doesn't exist anymore. And also, why don't I just meet you next to the telephone booth?
So what you're saying is if somebody's going to lure you into a man-sized microwave, it's going to have to be the size of a regular room.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to have to be the size of a waiting room.
Yeah. Is this wrong? Have people done this before? I don't want to.
Gone inside a
has somebody I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to say anything insensitive. I don't want anybody to be like, my dad was melted in a microwave.
No, I mean there are microwave ovens that are used for
cooking
industrial.
People?
No, like industrial purposes.
Yeah, but
so I imagine those are big enough that there could be an industrial accident where somebody gets locked inside and turns into, with a fly at the same time or something. And then they get mutated together.
Yeah. I mean, what's the biggest functional microwave right now, do you think? What could you possibly need,
No, I think that there could be room-sized microwaves for industrial.
For what?
They use them to dry plastic in industrial purposes.
Right.
Yeah. Or it's probably not even an actual closing thing. It's probably a roof that's microwave and they're like, don't go in that room.
Right. They put a sign on it even maybe.
Don't go in this room.
Microwave ovens cook food using waves of energy, microwaves, Tom, that are similar to radio waves but shorter.
Yeah.
This is from Harvard.
That's why you can't hear them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's from Harvard. Wow.
Yeah. And they're good
This is from your time at Harvard.
Exactly. These waves are remarkably selective, primarily affecting water and other molecules that are electrically asymmetrical.
Yeah.
One positively charged and the other negatively charged. Microwaves cause these molecules to vibrate and quickly build up thermal energy or heat, as we know it.
Heat, the movie. I've never seen Heat, the movie.
Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Have 30 seconds together.
Oh, well, that's all the cinema screen could handle.
Yeah, people were freaking out. They're like, I can't take much more of that. Oh, it's over. Phew.
Yeah.
Things got really hot in here.
It was almost like we were in a man-sized microwave.
I think, 4DX, the 4DX experience for Heat. Whenever Al Pacino and Robert De Niro were on the screen, they'd blast the theater with microwaves, and everybody would be like, is it getting hot in here? I'm feeling a little...
No, but, well, for the listener, Tim's tugging on his collar as he says that. I think it would more be like they'd be clutching their gut like, oh, my insides are so hot.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when two stars of the screen... What was the other movie?
Where they were old men. This is a recent one.
Yeah.
Who
knows?
Yeah. I had a more scientific explanation.
What do you mean? The waves vibrate the water molecules.
Yeah, I had a more scientific explanation.
Which on one hand, I'm like, what kind of lunatic comes up with this?
Here's my
Percy Spencer, I guess.
Do you know what Percy Spencer and the boys called when they were like, we got something, we're onto something? You know what they called it?
What's that?
The Speedy Weenie Project.
What?
The Speedy Weenie Project.
That's what they also called Righteous Kill, the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro movie.
That's what it was called, Righteous Kill.
Those are two guys that are not speedy. Couple weenies, though.
Oh, I dare you to say that to their faces.
Why was it speedy weenie? Because they cooked hot dogs very fast?
Yeah.
But did they remember to poke holes in them?
Probably that's probably how we learned you have to poke holes in them.
Well, we owe a lot to Percy Spencer.
Right. He invented the microwave, and they told us, you got to poke holes in the hot dog. I think actually, like, so surprisingly, the second thing that they tried cooking in a microwave was popcorn kernels.
Well, hey, well done, Percy.
Yeah, they was on, like, boy, what a good idea right away. It would have taken me probably at least a week to think of popcorn kernels.
What would be your first thing?
A man. I'd try and convince somebody to get in there.
You'd probably try to lure me into that thing, right?
Yeah, Tim, can you wait in this telephone booth?
In the beginning, they were man-sized. They're like computers.
Yeah, they were man-sized, but you couldn't fit a man in them.
Yeah, like the apparatus itself was huge, but like you could only put like a potato inside or a few corn kernels.
The first like commercially available microwave weighed 750 pounds and was 5.5 feet tall. And it needed a water line to cool the tube.
Just cook something on the stove. Christ, people.
And it cost, in 1947, it cost $5,000, which is the equivalent of $53,000 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was being like...
Use your oven, you idiot.
I
don't want to have to preheat it for 14 minutes.
Yeah, I don't want to have to preheat my oven. How much you say this thing is? 53 grand? All right. And I have to get a separate water line to go into it? Okay. All right, as long as it's not very big. So no, it's the size of a refrigerator.
Was it like William Randolph Hearst or something had this thing?
Probably. I mean, yeah. I'm always fascinated with inflation prices. I'm always using the inflation calculator online.
Okay.
Well, just a fun fact about me.
What are you, an old fuck now, Tom? You never believe what things used to cost.
No,
now things are more expensive.
No,
yeah, that's the way it works.
No, it's mostly.
Sorry, old timer.
No,
hey Tom, how much did a Pepsi Cola cost in 1986? Man, I bet you think I'll be real interested in that.
I don't give a shit what you're interested in. Another fact from history, Tim. The Sharp, the electronics manufacturer, introduced the first microwave oven with a turntable between 1964 and 1966.
So people could listen to music while they cooked?
Yeah, you could put an LP in there.
Yeah. Don't put your records in the microwave.
Put
Every
CDs
once in a
in
while,
there.
there's a hoax that says that's how you clean things.
Yeah, usually I haven't heard clean. I've heard people getting fooled with, like, if you put your iPhone in a microwave for 10 seconds, it fully charges the battery from zero.
Well, people are just dumb.
People are very stupid. But what I want to point out with this, they said, Sharp introduced it between 64 and 66. I feel like anything before like 10 years ago, nobody's really sure when it happened. It's like Sharp doesn't know. Like, they have like a 2-year span. I don't know. We put it out at some point there.
Record keeping wasn't good in the 60s. A lot of things were getting burned in riots.
Yeah, well, and a lot of the probably the guy working at Sharp was high on PCP or LSD, and he was like, we should put a turntable in there, man.
Yeah. How are they supposed to know?
Have you ever put a compact disc in the microwave, or even a DVD or a Blu-ray?
No, I accidentally put some aluminum foil in there once when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I went like this. Yeah. And I opened it. It was fine.
And you swore that day, I'll never screw up in the kitchen again, because the last thing I want to do is get yelled at and banned from it.
This is a G chat with my old roommate. She wrote, holla, or yo.
Wow. Jeez. You guys are cool.
Yeah, we were pretty cool. She wrote, so I hope I don't sound like a dick right now, but I wanted to just let you know something.
Uh-huh. Oh, and that's enter.
Yeah, exactly. Enough time for me to write, uh-oh. And she wrote,
Man, when people write something like that and then they let 15 minutes
yeah,
pass.
I think I was probably away. Yeah,
I'm usually halfway. I've got a bug out bag. I'm ready. All right, time to start a new life. I guess.
Right now. My heart is beating so quickly. This was April 17th, 2013. By the way.
Okay, well, but the wound's still fresh.
Yeah. She wrote, there was a lot of grease in the sink, along the stove, on the knobs, and the kitchen floor. So I did a number on this kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Did she think you were styling your hair
she wrote,
in the kitchen?
When you cook next time, so she knew I was cooking.
Oh, okay.
Can you just use the spray bleach under the sink to really cut that stuff up? And I just wrote, oh, fuck. And I wrote, yeah, I'm sorry about that. She said, no worries. Apparently there were worries. She's very nice. We're friends to this day. I assumed you just didn't notice, which is the only reason I brought it up. She's correct. I didn't notice. I think I was
drunk.
making a
Yeah, you were drunk.
chicken breast when I was drunk.
She was aware that, look, like usual, I think he didn't notice.
Now, this is where I take a little bit, but I was smart enough to keep my trap shut.
Okay.
She wrote, but it was just pretty greasy in there the past 2 mornings. Nope. Only cooked in that kitchen once.
Oh, see, you're a bigger man than me. I wouldn't be able to let something. I wouldn't come back with an attack, but I would have said, well, I don't know how that could have happened. This was last night.
Yeah, and then she said, and no apology needed. Just bringing it up is all.
So then okay, good, because I'm not sorry.
She said, yeah, I'll scrub it down good today. I said, I'll scrub it down good today and be more mindful in the future. And she wrote, I gave the stove sink and counter a good once over, so they should be okay. But the floor might still benefit from a mop up, thanks. And I wrote, yes, definitely. I don't recall ever mopping a floor even once in my life, so I can't imagine that I did that. And I think I moved out shortly thereafter. But I'm not kidding when I say, we've run into each other a few times since, and everything's been cool to my knowledge.
She hasn't brought it up again.
Yeah. So.
Well, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what happened. Would you have gone back in the kitchen after that conversation? Not.
I think I probably would have said something like, for what it's worth, if we had a microwave, this wouldn't have been a problem. I would have just microwaved that chicken breast.
For what it's worth, if I had not been too lazy to just walk to the corner and get a slice of pizza, none of this would have happened.
Yeah. Have you ever microwaved a sponge?
No, what happens there? Does it grow?
No, you microwave a. God damn it, Tim! I think you really don't understand what microwave radiation is.
No, I just don't understand what sponges are. To be honest,
like a kitchen sponge.
Yeah, no, I know, but is it a sponge from under the sea?
God, Tim. Do you think all the sponges that they sell at the grocery store are from under the sea?
Maybe all the fish that they sell at the grocery store is from under the sea.
No, it's true. That's a good point. And they usually keep the sponges in the seafood section.
No, but come on. Things come from the sea. It's ridiculous that in one section things would come from the sea and the other section they wouldn't come from the sea.
Yeah, that's true.
What do they make? It's like synthetic?
Rubber or something.
Okay. Well.
Foam.
So you don't know, but you were mocking me.
I know it's not from under the sea.
Tom, the condescending idiot, returns.
I know, because there would be...
I don't know anything, but I'll be real condescending about it.
There would be a Discovery Channel show of kitchen sponge hunters or something. There would be a bunch of men, longshoremen, we got to catch all these... Everybody needs new kitchen sponges.
I mean, they wouldn't be too hard to catch, right?
It's true.
Why don't
Stupid
question.
No, let's hear it.
Thought maybe the sponges would sop up all the water in the ocean.
Sure, if there were enough of them.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's a good reason to keep the population under control.
No, I say ramp it up.
Oh, get rid of the ocean?
No, as sea levels start to rise, I think the sponges are our only hope.
No, the sponges are going to... Oh, I see, yeah.
Yes, sop up that water instead of lower Manhattan. It'll be contained under the sea and all the sponges.
Yeah, and then we just have to be very careful nobody ever wrings them out.
Yeah. Or we can train... If only Aquaman were real.
Man, you know what? I think about that 10 times a day.
He could train the fish to drink a lot of the water. Enough of the fish start drinking
He doesn't have to train
the
them.
sea.
He can talk to them. He can just tell them, hey, drink a lot of the water.
Yeah, but how is anybody trained to do
You know what,
anything
though?
by somebody telling them?
You'd have a hard time telling Aquaman to do that because he's mad about the rising sea levels.
Yeah, but you could
He'd
be
be like, oh, humans, you're the last people I want to help out. Actually, he's pretty good with humans, but convincing the rest of the Atlanteans.
Wait, so he's an environmentalist?
Yeah, he lives in the sea. Of course he is. Cares
Maybe
about the ocean?
Maybe he's like this. Yeah, more sea. What's wrong with that? Sea levels rising, more room for me and my friends to kind of spread out.
I'm expanding my kingdom.
Yeah,
Look
exactly.
At this.
New real estate has become available.
I think that actually a lot of times that's like Ocean Master's MO.
Who's Ocean Master?
Ocean Master is his half brother, who's like the other guy going after the throne.
So he's more of an environmentalist. I'll tell you, Ocean Master's not going to have a Steve Mnuchin produced movie about him. He keeps up all this environmentalist talk.
No, yeah, I mean he's like he's on the like eco-terrorist side, where he's like, nah, get rid of all the people.
He has a point.
Sponges. If you put a sponge, you wet a sponge, put it in the microwave for a few minutes, it kills the bacteria on the sponge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just buy a new sponge? You
can just buy a new sponge. And actually, some recent research has indicated that actually might not work as well as initially thought.
But the iPhone thing still works, right?
The iPhone thing still works. If you got a dead iPhone, chuck it in the...
Don't say that. I don't want to be criminally liable for this. You can go to jail for having somebody destroy their iPhone out of their own stupidity, right?
So you've never put a CD in the microwave?
No. Why do you act like this is
Because it looks cool. Everything sparks. I'm trying to remember where I was that I did it though, because I would never do that with my own microwave.
Yeah, or like your parents' microwave.
No. Although one time I like one of the like biggest in troubles I got was
that's the proper way to say that, I think.
Was like it was the combination of like, all right, you didn't mean anything by like this wasn't like you didn't intend to do anything bad,
right? But you're
dumb. But you
were probably condescending about it after the fact.
No, it's like you didn't mean this, but you still almost burnt the house down, so we're very mad.
Ooh.
I had a solar powered calculator that wasn't working. So when I put it like under a lamp, it started working a little bit. So I was like, oh, well, this will just need some charge. I'll just put it on top of the light bulb inside the lamp. And then,
that's fine.
No, it wasn't fine. I forgot about it.
But you got in trouble for that? That was enterprising.
Well, no, because I forgot about it. And then like 15 minutes later, my mom was like, do you smell that? I'm like, no, I completely forgot.
Like, you smelt it, you dealt it.
No, it's like,
Mom,
it was
you
like,
farted.
No, it smells like melting plastic. And I was like, yeah, I smell it, but I don't know what that could be. And like members of my family are going outside to like see if there was like a house fire somewhere nearby. It like almost got to the point of calling the fire department, even though because it smelled so bad. And then finally somebody saw like the calculator melted around a light bulb. It was very bad.
Were you like, you can punish me, Mom and Dad, but just know I was trying to do math.
I was trying to do math, and I was trying to save the environment by doing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want me to plug in a calculator and run up our electricity bill?
Yeah.
I was trying to save you money
and
do my math homework at the same time.
Along those lines, another interesting fact about microwave ovens, Tim. A typical microwave oven uses more electricity keeping its dang digital clock on standby than it does heating food. You believe that?
I do.
The hell is what is it with these clocks in there taking up so much energy?
And also, who needs a clock these days?
Well, I mean, you still need a clock. There's just a lot of people have phones now. Is that what you mean?
I don't know. It's just like, are you ever looking to your microwave to know what time it is?
No, but
I don't mean eradicate clocks and the concept of time or, the delineation between, day and night. That's fine. Keep all that. But like microwave clocks, you don't need to ship a microwave. I mean, I know it's a display that you need anyway. Why not put the time up there anyway? But like, enough with the clock on the microwave, guys.
The time.
Come on,
I think
Phillips.
it's it needs some display to show the cooking time.
Yeah, but why don't you just turn it off when it's not there?
Because I think it doesn't require very much energy.
It requires more than cooking the goddamn food, Tom.
Yeah, but I think
you said it yourself.
But I think the point is that cooking the food doesn't take very much energy at all.
Yeah, but you can make this thing like.
But
what?
that kind of doesn't make sense because when you turn on the microwave, sometimes the lights dim.
Yeah.
Nah, this thing's full of shit. This is the microwave company.
We both got duped by.
And the electricity company, they're in cahoots.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're not lying, and maybe, that little microwave oven clock is pulling like 50 watts all day, driving up my electricity bill.
Yeah. I'd say get rid of the clock. That's my first order of business.
I'm going to smash it tonight.
No, because not you. I'm talking about the engineers. Tom?
I'm not intending to wait for the engineers.
Can we talk about the best microwavable foods?
Yes.
And the worst microwavable foods?
Yes. Well, I don't have worse, but I did write down some.
And can we
best.
address the sogginess problem?
I've been waiting hundreds of episodes.
You claim that the best way to heat up leftovers is in the microwave.
I didn't say it was the best.
And then I say
put
to
more
you,
to my
sir,
mouth.
What about French fries and pizza?
First off, microwave pizza.
No. I'm not talking about frozen pizza.
No, I was about. Well, if you would let, I was clearing my throat to clarify.
And then you paused for a really long time. It was
Because
like when my roommate was like, "Yeah, I have something to tell you, and I hope I don't sound like a dick." And then like a 5-minute pause. It was like, "Oh, I guess I say something now."
I'm not talking about frozen pizza. I'm talking about leftover pizza from the pizzeria, the pizza parlor. Reheated in the microwave pizza from the pizza parlor, delicious.
What?
Cold pizza, delicious. Oven pizza, the best. The best way to do it.
Yeah.
But look, if you got like one slice or whatever left over, usually I order a pie, eat 7 slices that night.
That's true, isn't it?
And then have the one slice left. No, I order pizzettes. Pizzettes. Pizzaettes?
A lady pizza?
A lady pizza. A pizza fit for a lady. Just, like a small pizza, like a 12-inch pizza. And I don't eat 7 slices. I eat half of it.
Tom, do you have a toaster oven?
I do, but I should just throw it out. I have no room for it in my apartment, so it's in like a cabinet. Hasn't been used in years. I used to love.
Put it in your bedroom.
I should put it in my bedroom. I used to love, actually, like when we were roommates, I used that toaster oven more often than I used the microwave because it was a convection one, so it would get hot quickly.
Mm-hmm. What's the deal with convection?
Basically, just that it has like a fan in it, so it moves the air around.
Yeah.
So then you can like really get it, no pun
hot.
intended, nice and toasty quickly.
Mm-hmm. You put a slice of pizza in there, it's ready and
ready and delicious.
Seconds. I burned 2 slices of pizza in a toaster oven last week, Tom.
You gotta keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Don't stray far.
I put them in the toaster
And then
oven.
you went to work.
No, I started playing some geography game on my computer.
What a nerd.
Yeah. I got really into it. And I was like, what's that smell? These things were black as night.
Oh, you didn't put them on like a timer?
No. I was like, who needs
you're
a timer?
You're a real idiot. All right, so what are your...
Yeah, but guess what? I know where, like a lot of the major countries of the world are now.
Good.
I'm getting really good at maps, Tom. Geography.
Yep, that's another way of saying maps. All right, so you want to talk about the worst foods or the best foods?
Let's talk about them all, man.
All right, well, all right.
I'll tell you the worst foods.
Mm-hmm.
Hamburgers.
Yeah.
Like with the bun.
I will give you the exception that proves the rule.
White Castle hamburgers.
Yes.
Yes, those things, delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know how White Castle does it, and a million truck stop gas stations can't figure this out.
Well, but they do the same thing where it's like you just open the package, but keep it in the package, and the package acts as a steamer.
Yeah.
I think maybe the White Castle people are putting more water in there first before
I don't know what they're doing.
Let loose the steam.
Yeah, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Hey, ain't broke, don't fix it.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs in a microwave. Tom, when we were roommates, you would buy all these contraptions about cooking eggs in a microwave.
About cooking eggs. I like eggs. I don't like microwaved eggs, but they do in a pinch. Have you seen commercials for this product now? Jimmy Dean makes it, the sausage man.
Jimmy Dean's on my list of worst.
Yeah. So they make a product.
They should put Jimmy Dean's corpse in a microwave.
Why? Try and bring him back?
Yeah, right?
He
works like an iPhone. Recharge him.
Oh.
Imagine if that's all it took to reanimate people. Put them in a man-sized microwave.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they should try it at least once just to make sure.
Yeah. I'll donate my body.
Come back to life. Ow!
I'll donate my body to be put in a man-sized microwave after my passing. But, like, why do we want to wait 115 more years to see if it works?
Yeah. There's a product that I've seen advertised. I've not seen it in my local supermarket. It's called something like Jimmy Dean's Just Add an Egg.
Mm. Oh, that actually seems less gross than everything else. 'Cause, like,
it's like a frozen bowl or like a cup.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, I guess, like hash browns and like maybe like peppers and onions and bacon or sausage or whatever.
Yeah, the makings of a morning scramble.
Yeah. And the idea is that you take it out of the freezer, you open it up, and then you crack an egg, a real egg, into it, and then stir it up, then pop it in the microwave.
Yeah. Why don't you like that? Would you rather they just take an egg and freeze the egg? Something about a frozen egg that you reheat kind of skews me out.
Yeah.
But like a fresh egg and all that other frozen food,
it's
anywhere
still
you get
a microwaved egg.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's better than something that's been, look, a McDonald's quarter pounder is still a McDonald's quarter pounder. But when they make it with the fresh, not frozen beef, people agree that it's better.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Oh, I'm sure it's better than frozen eggs. Yeah. But I'm not sure
Jimmy
if it's
Dean's
actually
just
good.
Trying to get by, man. That and the Hungry Man, I don't understand. French fries too soggy.
During my research, I found an advertisement because Hungry Man is Swanson.
Probably. They're all one company now.
Yeah. At some point, they had a competitor when like Hungry Man dinners started getting really popular, and like another frozen dinner manufacturer made a line called Man Pleaser. And the 70s commercials are pretty good. Just like a gigantic man who's like, when I'm hungry, I need a man pleaser.
Well, heard it here first.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to go to the supermarket and be like, do you have any man pleasers?
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to eat a man pleaser?
It doesn't sound appetizing.
Eh.
I mean, and to be fair, I don't want to eat a hungry man either. That just that's insult to injury.
The hungry man is not the food.
The hungry man
is
me.
You. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's a dinner for a hungry man. A hungry man dinner is a dinner for a hungry man.
Wow.
Not a dinner made from a hungry man.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they cooked the man in a microwave.
Maybe.
Can I go? Do you have any bad microwave
I don't
food?
really have any bad ones. I think they're all good.
All right, let's hear some of your good ones. Let's hear some Tom's honorable mentions.
Pizza rolls.
Oh, yeah. But the age-old conundrum.
Uh-huh. Oh, how long to cook them?
Too hot or too cold? It's never right. It's right for about... What do they do with the outside
Uh-huh.
to make them, like, bubbly? If they fry 'em.
They fry 'em,
Yeah, okay.
It was created by a company that had made
Totino's.
No, Geno's.
What?
Totino's later bought them.
Yeah,
Or
here I am,
actually,
I
like,
know it all.
Kraft bought them or something.
Yeah, it's all one company.
Yeah, but originally, it was I think it was that like the Geno's Pizza people were making regular frozen pizzas, and then another company bought them that made frozen egg rolls, and they were like, "Hey, what if we put the pizza stuff in these mini egg roll
Fusion,
containers?"
they call that. It's classic fusion food.
Yeah.
It was the 80s after all.
You know what though? I bought a bag of pizza rolls recently, and I think the heat problem is just that when you're a hungry teen, eating these things, you don't Wait for them to cool. If you wait for them to cool, then
they're too
are.
cold.
No. I mean, yeah, if you left them out there forever, you gotta like constantly test. There's still a pretty narrow.
Did you
but
burn
you're never
your
gonna,
mouth the last time you ate them?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're never gonna hit the appropriate temperature on the heating end of things. Like either they're not going to be cooked through or they're going to be molten lava. But there is a small window where you can eat them, and they're appropriate temperature and delicious.
All right.
Which is your favorite type? Cheese, cheesy taco, combination, pepperoni trio, sausage, supreme, triple cheese, triple meat, nacho cheese, buffalo chicken, spicy taco, bacon and pepperoni, macaroni and cheese and bacon?
Original.
Okay. Well, you should have stopped me in the first place.
I wasn't aware most of those existed. I always thought the pepperoni one was a little gross because it was like
pepperoni cubes.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Panini. Yeah.
And like the cool thing about pepperoni pizza was like the thin sliced pepperoni that would get like crispy, and
right.
that didn't happen with the rolls.
Yeah, I just realized that they don't make a veggie roll, like just veggie toppings. Yeah, but I would like a pepper and onion pizza roll.
Hey, we all would.
Yeah.
I think one day we'll have the technology to make our own pizza rolls.
Well, Tim, don't promise things you can't fulfill.
What about Easy Mac, Tom?
Oh, I forgot about Easy Mac. Man, when I was in college.
Easy Mac and Uncrustables. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. That's all I wanted to eat.
Uncrustables were too expensive.
Really?
Well, when you compared like how easy and cheap a peanut butter and jelly sandwich was versus how much what's an Uncrustable for people that don't know?
It was.
And what's Easy Mac for people that don't know?
Yeah, okay. So an Uncrustable has nothing to do with a microwave. It was a...
sometimes it did when you had them frozen. And you're like, I don't want to
You were supposed to keep them frozen. They're meant to be put in children's lunches. Well, they belong in a museum. You and I both believe that. We've devoted our professional lives to ensuring that these things
put
are
my career on the line.
It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's frozen. The crusts are cut off, and the sides are kind of fused together. I would argue
maybe the crusts were never there in the first place.
Right.
But I'm a little bit of an Uncrustables conspiracy theorist.
Actually, how would you make bread without crust?
You know what? They probably made like a giant loaf of bread.
Yeah, so the crust has been removed.
Punched the
So
holes.
it's like a pod. It's a circular pod that has peanut butter and jelly inside.
Yeah, the
inside
perfect
white
amount
bread,
of each.
And it's fused around the sides. Mm-hmm. So it's like and they're individually packaged, and you're meant to keep them frozen, and then you take them out a couple hours before you want to eat them. Perfect to put in a child's lunchbox or lunch bag, and after a couple hours, you just bite in, and it's a
perfect temp.
Yeah, I was very concerned with efficiency in college when I had nothing to do ever. Right. And I was like, well, I can't waste 4 minutes making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and ensuring that I have fresh bread. That's the main thing in your dorm room. Well, you keep a loaf of fresh bread.
Let alone a loaf of French bread.
Yeah, that'd be too fancy for me. And so, Easy Mac was...
At the time, I was like, this should be on the news. This is a scientific breakthrough.
I think it was on the news.
Good.
As sad as that sounds. It was Kraft macaroni and cheese meant to be, or it still is, I guess, meant to be made in the microwave. It was a plastic cup that had dry noodles in it, elbow
dry
macaroni. You put some water in it. You microwave it, and it also came with a pouch. Originally it was powder. I think they started making it a creamy, yeah. But
well, I know now they've got like I see at my supermarket, they have like cheese and bacon or cheese and broccoli.
Yeah, so you cook the pasta for like a minute in the microwave. The microwaves,
heat it up. Well, it was that breakthrough, the microwavable noodle.
Yeah, and then it's hot. You pour in the powder. You mix it up. There you got mac and cheese. You eat it right out of the plastic container.
Yeah, and when you're done,
wasteful and shitty and perfect for college too.
And cheap. They're like $1 each.
Yeah, I ate a lot of those.
Those are so good.
I know. You'll relate to this because you talk about how much things used to cost in the old days. It sucks. Doesn't it bum you out that like you can't just eat microwavable mac and cheese and peanut butter sandwiches all the time?
I mean, you could.
No, but like back then, you'd still be like, "Hey, I'm fit as a fiddle and feel great all the time." Now I'm gonna go drink 1,000 gallons of alcohol and wake up refreshed in the morning.
Well, and back then
Isn't that
too,
such a bummer that you can't do that anymore? Like it sucks. Getting old sucks.
Back then too, eating like Easy Mac and Uncrustables, you were like, "Hey, you know what? I didn't go to McDonald's today. I'm being pretty healthy.
Exactly.
I'm on a bit of a health kick right now.
Yeah, I had a bagel for breakfast, slice of pizza for lunch." 3 Uncrustables as a snack, and some Easy Mac.
Yeah.
And then I had a quesadilla at the dining hall.
Yeah.
So pretty good day.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting into cooking for myself now. I have a case of Uncrustables and a few Easy Macs.
And like yesterday wasn't the best day. I had an entire Papa John's pizza myself.
Yeah. Hot Pockets.
Yeah, whatever. Too hot.
The thing about Hot Pockets and Totino's pizza rolls is it's crazy, but if you put them in the oven instead of the microwave, holy cow.
Yeah, that's the same with
like,
anything.
I know, but
everything is better in the oven.
But these turn into like gourmet meals.
Yeah.
Like they're really, I feel bad for the fellas at these companies because nobody's really.
They're like, we're living a lie here. We don't know.
We're living a lie, but at the same time, they know, hey, if we start saying put these things in the oven, people are going to say too much trouble. Forget it. I'm moving on to a different brand.
And the number one best thing in a microwave to make.
I can tell you what my recent favorite microwavable meal is.
My favorite isn't even in production anymore.
What is it?
They took it off the market.
Was it dangerous?
Probably will be the indirect cause of my death.
They make these meals now. I think Kraft makes them called Devour.
Ugh.
They're basically like.
First of all, if you're making an entire meal in one cycle of the microwave oven, you shouldn't. That's not. That's not right.
No, it's fine. But it's like heavily implied. Like the branding of these meals is basically like the same branding as like Axe deodorant. Like it is definitely like being like, hey, you're a guy's guy, right? Have one of these meals. But boy, let me tell you, their buffalo chicken. Oh yeah, actually, I have in my notes too. Another clue to who they're after is that recently when I saw them in the supermarket, all the branding was a Deadpool promotion.
Oh, cool, yeah. The fact that it's buffalo chicken flavored,
buffalo chicken mac and cheese from them. It's like I mean, I think I've only had it maybe like 2 or 3 times. I think I've only had it like when I've come home drunk and then been like, I have that in the fridge. But each time it's been like I'm eating it thinking like they should serve this in restaurants.
They should. Only 460 calories per container.
Yeah, so it's good for you too.
30 grams of fat,
Mm-hmm.
11 grams of saturated fat, only 1 gram of trans fat.
How many carbs?
Only 24 grams.
Yeah, like I said.
A lot of calcium, too.
Good. That's what I need for my bones.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing that they no longer make?
Suddenly s'mores.
Oh my! I forgot about that, and that escaped my brain for 20 years until you mentioned it just now.
Yeah, I was looking up commercials today for it. It was it's 2 graham crackers, some chocolate, and a marshmallow in between, packaged in a single serving package. You take it out, and then it the marshmallow like grows when you
all of them do.
Yeah, it's great.
I forgot about Suddenly S'mores.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was all the kind of garbage like when we were like not kids, probably like young teens.
That was more, I remember being like 8 or 9.
Oh,
like
it was
the
that
commercial
old?
I found was from 1990, so that
okay.
tracks. And like I just remember like my family would just have those in the cabinet. So it'd be like, home from school, time to eat 3 s'mores at 3 p.m. You know, like
suddenly have a s'more.
It's Tuesday at 3 p.m. Time to eat 3 s'mores on this, like
That's
winter
actually
afternoon.
that's a big thing that I didn't see in my. Let me do all the plugs, and everything, then we'll talk. Hey, if you like the show, go to tcgt.com to find out more. Go to facebook.com/complete guide. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter @complete guide. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TomReynolds.
Follow me at your pal Tim.
If you want to support the show, support our sponsors, check them out. Also, tcgt.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping, and tcgt.com/pledge for our Patreon, including weekly mini episodes of things like Fast Food Friday. If you're listening to all this and thinking, boy, I'd like to hear these guys talk about garbage food more, check all those out. What were you saying about Suddenly S'mores? Oh, no, what I was going to say was
Okay.
not to cut you off, but I felt bad. I had something to say, so I was, but I couldn't remember, so I was thrown to you.
You've just talked uninterrupted for like 15 minutes, it seems like. Just keep going. You're on a roll.
Microwave ovens for like that was the first thing as like a kid where it was like, all right, you're trusted with like you can microwave, if you're home after school,
Yeah.
and you want a snack, you want a Easy Mac or something. All right, you can, don't. We
if you
trust
want a
you
snack that will change your DNA and eventually kill you.
No, I told you it doesn't change your DNA.
No,
They
not
should
from
print that.
the microwaves,
They
from
should
from the synthetic ingredients in the.
They should print that in the microwaves. Won't change your DNA.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if I was like, Panasonic or something, and I put that on my microwaves, I think a lot of people would say, well, the other microwaves don't say that, and why not?
Yeah, it's like when celery's like gluten-free celery.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
I guess the
I'll
other.
go by this. Yeah.
I guess the other celery has glue. I guess the other microwaves changed my DNA.
Now, along those lines of changing DNA, assuming microwaving in a man-sized microwave a dead body will bring it back to life, will it be kind of a Pet Cemetery situation?
No, I think it's just going to put all the energy back into the person. It's going to move their water molecules around enough to. I mean, they'll be thirsty when they wake up.
Yeah. Look, you're going to be thirsty, but it's going to be worth it.
Do you know one thing you can't microwave, no matter how much you try? And this is something I imagine you probably have tried and maybe been thwarted.
Oh, is it because I got it all over my kitchen? Oils?
No, you can microwave oils, though.
No, you can't.
You can't?
Mm-mm. Or like it just won't do anything.
What about oils that have water in them?
Well, that's...
I know, because then how does popcorn? I guess there's moisture in the kernels, and that pops the kernels.
Water all around us, Tom.
Ants. You can't microwave ants.
All right.
They're too small. They go in between the waves.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. What? That doesn't make any sense.
That's a shame. All right. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.